Hey, hi everybody. Hi Glenn, how you doing?
I'm good, Mark. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, thanks. Welcome everybody. This is kind of the first in one of these series here, looking at the EdTech in the cloud and that kind of leadership piece behind it, and where that kind of fits within our education world. So how you doing then? You keeping well, Glenn?
Yeah, very well. Bit rainy here over in Manchester, but yeah, all
Hey.
good.
Well, I
So
thought
yeah,
as we're
looking
doing a webinar from the UK, let's make it rain at the same time. Why not, eh?
actual British weather.
Love it. Good stuff. Well, thanks for joining everybody, and we'll kind of get things going. We are looking, as I've kind of already said, this EdTech leadership here. So if at any point you do want to join here, we are running this through Lumio. If you're familiar with joining as a student, you can. We're going to go to hellosmart.com and you can join with the class code there. That's going to be coming up as a ticker on the bottom, but it's 162353. If it's new to you, go to hellosmart.com. From there, join as a guest, put in the class code, and it'll just ask you for your name. But you'll see it all on screen anyway as you kind of follow along wherever you're following today. And of course, if you want to put any comments or anything like that, feel free to pop them in the chat, and we'll kind of make that a conversational piece to add support for you today. So I've introduced myself and said far too much. So as I go on to the next piece here, Glenn, who are you?
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm Glenn Harrington. I'm the software manager for Smart, looking after the UK and the Nordics. And just manning the chat, just to talk, we have Colin de Graaf, who's joining us. So he'll be fielding all your questions, whichever platform that you're on. And he's joining us from Canada. So yes, we've got a good team, both UK and Canada based today.
Yeah, he's up nice and early, which is all good. So this is a kind of brief overview of what we're kind of looking at today. So it's just the first point there is a sort of why we're looking at cloud-based software. And then that second one there is how is it different from that normal kind of front of class display? How can we kind of push it to cloud-based learning there? Impacts on learning, Glenn, that's kind of one of your big things. What's that all about?
Yeah, so that's it from an impact to learning outcomes. So we're going to be seeing how the use of gamification and ready-made content that's available to teachers has really sort of driven that. So we have a nice white paper that we'll talk to you on that, the assessment and the impact on learning outcomes later on in the presentation.
Awesome. And then I'll probably finish it with a demo as well. Why not? So I can see some of you have already joined. So if you have joined and if you want to join some more, if you go to that page, again, it's going to be on the ticker as well, hellosmart.com. Class ID is 162353. And of course, if you want to run it at a slightly slower pace in your own time and actually that personalized demo, then that link is on that page there. And we'll put that again on the ticker and have that at the end as well. So we can support you in a lot more personalized way as well. Excellent. So,
okay, so I suppose that'll jump in here, Mark, and we'll start to talk about why the demand for cloud platforms. So I think since the pandemic, within a lot of schools, we've had this rise in availability of student devices. So we've moved away from this one-to-one device at home, and we've got these devices in schools now. So how do we use this? So this is certainly a reason why we need that integration between the two. We've got that pedagogical focus on
easy for you to say
of software. So that's it. So teachers have a big focus now on how they can best sort of utilize tools to gain the best outcomes for their students. Very important one. Mark will sort of explain this one about the teacher burnout side of things, being an ex-teacher himself.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's. I mean, with all the pressures and everything else going on with the teaching world, and more, it's how can we do it in a simply way? And we're not just trying to say, oh, there's loads more cloud platform. Do this one, do this one, do this one. It's how which ones are the most effective for the teaching, which ones are actually going to have and proven the outcomes for it as well, and not just lumping something else on for the sake of it. But think about why are we using this platform? What are the benefits for it? And then that's the value in it on there.
100%. And then we've got the need there for flexible learning and teaching. So remote teaching has changed from, as we say, the pandemic, where everyone was at home and the teacher was running it from their house. Now, we've got a lack of or shortage in teachers, and teachers may be having to teach from a different site, but teaching that specialist class to another classroom. So you've got that ability to remote there. Obviously, the developments in technology, it was slate and chalk on the board when I was at sort of school. So obviously we've come a long way since then. So now we've got these great tools that we can use and gather data to help students as well with their professional, their sort of learning path, and continue that professional development for the tutor as well.
Definitely, Glenn. I think this next point here really sings to that active learning, not just seeing that technology, not just being there, but actually how can I use that technology, and then getting the students hands-on with it and getting them involved with it and that ownership, and then they can have that as well. And if we can do it while playing a game with that gamification, we're all winning.
And then a slightly less exciting, but a huge sort of a huge initiative sort of globally is that need to move things off servers. So schools now looking to, everything to become cloud-based. So, this is why we need to be looking away from those clunky sort of desktop or server rolled out softwares.
Yeah, I mean, back to the hardware, that's the built-in web browser from that as well. So this cloud learning here versus regular software here, and you could very easy visual. We don't need to go into too much detail, and it's kind of those points there. It's installed. You don't need the install. It's cloud-based. It works on any devices, whether you're in or out of school. Again, keeping it simple. Wherever you are, you want to access that content on the device that's in front of you, regardless of what it is. And that's the beauty of this cloud-based learning here as well. So Glenn said right at the beginning, look at that white paper with Lord Jim Knight here. Glenn, that's a lot of data and a lot of boxes all over it. I'll hand this one quite happily over to you.
No problem. So what we've got here is we've got from the assessment tool that was taken through, we can see the percentage increase in terms of those that had these tools in place. So you can see they're the large ones that we've outlined in red at the bottom there. So collaborative software, the UK top outcomes were 61% higher for those schools that didn't have that. For those that had interactive assessment software, again, we've got a 46% differentiator there, which is a huge number. Game-based software, so again, UK top outcomes, 61% difference for those that didn't, and so we had a lower outcome from those. And that pre-created content, so as we all know in this sort of busy world and the teaching world, teachers have less time for creation and preparation now, so any tools that they can have access to which has got that pre-created content that they can just edit and cherry pick the parts they like is absolutely vital for providing those higher outcomes.
Yeah, I think that's quite stark difference to saying that those that are going collaborative, those that are using that gamification, actually the difference between those two ranking schools is 61% difference off here down to here. I think that's quite a telling tale for that as well.
And then, so we've got a variety of different sort of cloud platform solutions that are out there, which you may not be aware of. We had another one that we've just taken off, actually, Edmodo, because they're closing their doors and closing their site down at midnight this evening. So if you are an Edmodo user, don't jump off this right now, but I would suggest getting off and getting your content removed, because all your content will be removed this evening. So so we've got Lumio by Smart, which is obviously our software, and this is something that we're going to be talking to you and demoing through a little bit later on. This is the whole piece in terms of the activities, the whiteboarding, all in one piece, all in one platform, all in one tier.
Yeah, someone's just said about in the chat about app smashing, the fact that you're using this for this and using that for that, which is great, and each one does each separate thing, but
having
to
it
have
all
that
in one
core
place
of everything in one place really does support, and it definitely made my life easier when I was teaching.
Yeah, certainly, that's it. I mean, Pear Deck we've got, which is an add-in for quizzes, which you can use now with Microsoft, your Office 365 apps, and also your Google Education apps. Nearpod, again, which is it is a broader learning tool, but it does lack some of the areas that Lumio covers. Good content, and they do have a lot of good student-driven data.
Yeah, I'd say the kind of difference there is, I mean, Lumio, brilliant for everything, but actually smashing these two together as well to actually use that as that summative data, so you're kind of in partnership with each other.
That's it.
Was really good and really good.
And the same again with Kahoot. They've got some really good partnerships. They've got the students can create their own quizzes from within there, but it is a fun, formative assessment in there, easy to use. So you do have those sort of larger players. Pear Deck, more North American focused than sort of Europe and rest of the world. But I'm sure you have come across the other three.
Yeah. So looking at kind of Lumio, what does Lumio do? We've said all these 2 lines, what do the others do? But with saying that Lumio does everything, it's kind of a bit of detail here. I'll come into a demo as quick as I can as well, so I can see it in action. So if you do want to join, we're going to have that demo live. So that's across the ticker. Go to hellosmart.com and you can actually see this. I'm inking on it. So those people that are joined live, and I've got 9 of them joined at the moment, they can actually see that inking real time on their device as well. So join hellosmart.com, join as a guest, 162353. Again, it's on the ticker, and then you can join in and be there. So like I said here, it fully integrates with Google, with Microsoft, and of course all other platforms as well. So it's using that existing content. It's not making new for that as well. It's this whole lesson can be shared with it. It's not just an activity. It's not just your slides. It's not jumping in and out. It's everything all in one place for the learners there. And it actively promotes that learning and the collaboration. And going back to that white paper there, that's the real key to really support the learning there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And back to that comment we had about one tab, smashing everything together, it's there to support you from there as well. Glenn, do you want to carry on with those?
Yeah, that's it. So we've also got within there, we've got thousands of ready-made resources that are created by our content team. So they're all ex-educators, so it's all curriculum-focused material. We have multiple game-based activities that are fully customizable in there as well. So you've got the template in there. All you have to do is add your data in there, and you're good to go. It generates this fantastic gaming for you. And we've got these assessments in here. So like I mentioned, we've got the formative, low risk, and measurable. So we do also have some data that you can pull out on these, and you can measure where students are at with those. From an accessible point of view, we have the fully integrated, the immersive reader within there. So we have a lot of pre-made features in there, but like I say, we've also got those accessible features that we can use and utilize within there. There is a freemium account. That account gives you up to 50 meg of usage.
About 10 lessons, isn't it?
About 10 lessons roughly. Yeah, obviously dependent on the side of the lesson, and the obviously there's a lot of video content in. But it is, if you do want to go to a paid option, it is one cost. So on one, that is where
Definitely
we're at. So talking
nice
about Nearpod,
yeah,
that's it. Because talking about Nearpod there, they have everything in one place, but it's tiered. So to actually have everything you probably need to use within the classroom, you have to use their premium plus model there. So everything in one place, low cost. But as I say, we do have that free to use to get you on and get you using and embracing the cloud-based software.
Cool, no, thanks for that. Well, I'm actually just going to end this lesson now. So clicking at my 3 dots here, I'm going to end this. So I've ended it for me, and actually everyone that's joined has now ended that lesson as well. Don't worry, because it's the same teacher code. It's not a new one each time. I can click on these lessons. I can go back into my library, pick whatever I want. And I've just set up this lesson here. This just was a PowerPoint, drag and dropped it in, did nothing to it at all, and then pressing play for us today. I thought I'd do something different, being a geography lesson this afternoon. Thought, why not? And then as you'd expect from a lesson, I can go up and down on here. Any inking that I do on this here is going to be available for you now. So coming from that kind of actually using it in the classroom, if I did need to stop this lesson and go back onto another one, if I wanted to end this lesson, do a quick Lumio library and say, it's the autumn, let's just go and look at the fall, let's look at some mazes there. Do I need to look at stress and build that lesson in? I can easily jump into that lesson or jump back into my lesson, click start, and that's the recent one, and I'm back in here. And because I'd already done those annotations in that lesson there, it's all there for me as well, so I can continue with that. So that ease of just chopping and changing, because I can probably count on one hand the amount of lessons that went planned, and it was always that, actually, let's go off a tangent, let's go that child-led learning, and that's what it's needed within there. So just from this one here, I'm now going to jump into some group work. So we're saying this interactive, putting it in the hands of learning, make it an active learner, and that's what it's doing here. So it's looking at this group space here. So remember, this was that static content from beforehand. Now clicking on my people, first of all, there's the list of everyone joined. So hello to everyone that's joined. I'm just going to jump and make this a group work. I've got 3 options there. I'm going to make this a group. So now we're in a group. It's going to put us into those teams. I can have loads of people on here. I can have 9 different teams, up to 6 in each team. I'm just going to put us into 5 for the moment. Glenn, are you signed in as well?
I am, yes.
Phew. I was about to tell you off, but that's cool. I'm just going to move Glenn to support Kane. And then Jonas, I'm going to put you down with Mark down here and just move groups around. Maybe those two weren't very well together. So again, that flexibility, is that word? And then jumping in here. What it does for you now, I'm not going to pick on yours, Glenn. I'm going to pick on Callum and Jennifer's because Jennifer's quite active in the chat. So hi, Jennifer. And actually it gives you your tools down here. To be honest, for the sake of today, just put some scribbles in, put some works in, put whatever you want in. Say hi to somebody, say hi to your teammate, or if you do want to write anything, you can in there. Mine's on a bit of a go slow in that one there. I'm going to jump into another team, see how they're getting on. So I can jump into each one of these teams here. I can see how they're doing, see all their drawings, and actually jump into each one of those. I'm not quite sure why mine isn't. I could probably refresh my browser and it'll be all fine. But I won't for now. Let's just see if I can get one of them loading. Is yours working your end, Glenn?
It certainly is, yeah. Yeah,
fantastic. I'm going to blame the kids have all come home. They've all put on devices. I'm trying to restream it and follow a chat and do it on here. I need to upgrade my internet, but it should be all fine. Let's try a different one then. So you've seen that. That's that group work. We're all working together in that one there. This page here, I'm going to jump and see if I can. In fact, I think I might refresh my browser. So it might just kick you all out for a minute. The joys of technology. It's going to load me here. But again, this is real world. It happens in the classroom. It's trying to then press refresh and you're back in. There's children I can see now. I'm back in. You're going to be back in a moment as well. There we go. We're all in. So we don't lose the flow of the lesson. It's a quick, oh yeah, refresh it. And now we're back in. So in that real world problems, it can easily be solved. So clicking on these people here. Last one was group work. In fact, I'm going to jump back into the group work and see how you were getting on with that one. It was back onto this page here. I can see your student progress. You're following with me. I'm all teacher paced at the moment. So in that group work, I can jump in and let's see how we're getting on. Glenn, I'm going to jump into yours and just see what have you put in there, Glenn?
A nice little heart just to show a bit of love to Kane there. And yeah, some nice work because I think Kane was actually doing it properly.
Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, I can see that attribution there to see Kane's doing that. Again, this is all included in the same free tier, or if you want extra storage, you're paying for that. But it's just part of that low-cost subscription, like we said. But there's that group work in Team 4. Equally going on to another group here. Hello, cool. Who's written this? Thanks, Jonas. And those comments, I can see each one's doing that for those bits in there. And Mark's doing that as well. So hello, Mark, as well. So like I said, I was going on to that group work. Now I'm going to the individual. So clicking on these people here, I can change it to individual. And now it gives you your own version of it. And you can put all of that content in your own page there as well. And I can see as people press start, they can do it. I've got my individual one. And then I can jump in and see how, let's jump into Jennifer's work. And I'm going to write a little hello to Jennifer. That's just in yours. So that's that quick, in all of 5 minutes, I've taken that PowerPoint and really made it an interactive tool where we can jump around and we can put those, actually have that active learning in it there. Clicking onto student pacing, I can now jump up. I'm going to go onto the extension. I'm going to push us onto here. You are exactly where you were beforehand. Where you've now got that freedom to go up and down that lesson wherever it is. Or if I actually end that lesson, just to say that that's the starting point. How do I take that static content, which was my PowerPoint or something like that, and really now make it that really engaging piece using Lumio here? And then beyond that, the accessibility, the games, the content, the advert-free YouTube, all of that, bringing in other parts of lessons into here is really expanded. And then these games itself here, whether that's that fill in the blanks, Monster Quiz is always a massive favorite to kind of play on that one. And all of these really nice games and fun games to play, many with lots of data in the background behind them. Some of them just quick, low risk, and let's just have a try with it there. or others where just saving paper to be able to have a fill in the blanks activity where I can push that activity out and actually have that chart for my students to follow in there as well. Proper quick and easy to make with all that as well. Anyway, kind of going back to that where we were at the beginning, this is a very quick overview, and it's kind of what have we got within cloud-based learning. It's that we've got I was going on to that point there, not this one here, not this one here. It's all these bits here. That's what the demand is, and that's where we're looking at within Lumio to support that.
100%.
Go on, Glenn.
No, just saying there 100% on that. And as you mentioned a few times during there, it is just having it all under one roof. You know, it is that just that from a creation point of view. And obviously with it being cloud-based, it's anywhere you've got a browser. So you can do this on the train, you know, you can do this while you're out and about, or, you know, you're staying in a hotel, anything like these things.
I've seen the comment here from the host. Thanks, Colin, for that. We're speeding through the features. Yes, definitely. I think I've tried to compact everything within Lumio into about 2 minutes just to kind of give you a bit of a quick flavor of it. Obviously, that's not enough time to look for all. There's loads more features. I've even touched on the accessibility features of it as well. If you are following live, you can just click on that link and it will take you straight to that website. But that is at go.smartdeck.com/Lumio. That is a quick interest today. Let's go and learn more. Let's go and take a quick demo or a long demo to actually digest and how it can genuinely make us support and make a difference for your teaching and for the learners as well, more importantly. Aces. So, Glenn, next week?
Yeah, so we're closing the learning gap next week with cloud software. So that's next Wednesday at 4 o'clock again. 20 minutes long, or 22, 25, depending on how long we can talk for. But yeah, please do sign up and join our next session. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Yeah, any questions, please feel free. Just go to that website, book a demo, and we can kind of talk that in depth there. I don't think there's any other questions on there. Lots of, yes, using student voice, which is really good at it. Assessments, time-saving bits and pieces in there as well.
Perfect.
So thanks all. Great to see you all here. Hopefully that's been useful. If you want to have a trial of Lumio itself, just go to Lumio, lum.io, free sign up, and go and have a try on that. And if you do want to book a demo, then go to that site there, which is on the ticker. And of course, it'll be in the comments on the chat boxes. So thanks again for joining. Thanks again, Glenn.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. See you next week.
Will do. See everyone.
Okay, bye now.
Hey everyone, this is Katie. I'm super excited to be here with Andrea. We are here to tell you all about how you can have an amazing year in your classroom with an awesome new setup. We have a great contest for you. Andrea, why don't you tell them what it's all about?
So it's a classroom makeover, just in time for the back to school season. All you need to do is go to the link below, fill out the form. It's going to ask you for your Lumio email address. And if you don't have one, no problem. It just takes 2 seconds to fill it out, and it's free.
Yeah, check out the link below. $2,500 up for grabs for you to make over your classroom. And we'll have some bonus entries for you if you share on social, get your friends to enter. Lots of great stuff to be had. So we hope you enter, have fun, good luck.
Yeah, go now. Enter, enter, enter.
Click below.